Hello again. In this video we're going to discuss appending and linking files in Blender. Once you have created a model, material, or animation in Blender, that creation is available to use in other scenes. It's common for 3D artists to develop libraries of models, materials, textures, and animations to reuse in multiple projects. You can access work you've created in one Blender file for use in another by either appending an object from that file or linking them. Let's look at the difference. I'll start with the default Blender scene. I'll also go ahead and deselect my cube. If we go up to our File menu, we can see that we have Append as a choice. Should also note that the hotkey for Append is Shift plus F1. So let's hit Shift plus F1. This brings up our file browser, and I'll go ahead and navigate to my Blender folder. Once there, I'll choose my monkey mirror file that had the two Suzanne monkeys. As we selected Append, instead of the file being opened in my scene, it digs deeper into the bits that make up the file. In this case, I'll choose the Objects folder, and then I'll choose Suzanne 001. Once I've selected it, I'll hit Append from the library. Back in our scene, we can now see the Suzanne from our monkey mirror file. If we render, we see that the green material came along with Suzanne 001. I'll hit F11 to return and get out of our render. Now there is something important to note here. Suzanne has a dark orange selection around her, indicating that that's not the active selection. If we look in the outliner, we can see that although it doesn't show on our window currently, our outliner still shows the cube as our last active selection. Now if we were to attempt to edit Suzanne now, we could go into edit mode, but our cube would be the active selection. Well, this is a pretty easy fix. I'll tab back to object mode, and I'll be sure to select Suzanne again to make her the active selection. We can see this by the light orange line surrounding her now rather than the dark orange. So now if we tab into edit mode, Suzanne is fully editable. I think I'll grab a top vertex here and just give her kind of a pointy head. Alright, let's go ahead and tab back into object mode and save our file. We'll save this as append link or something equally non-creative. Alright, once we have that saved, we will hop back to our scene. Now let's have a look at linking a file. We'll go back to our File menu, and just above Append we'll see Link. Hotkey Control-Alt-O. Let's select that, and this time in our file browser we'll go ahead and select our standard Suzanne object. When our red Suzanne object comes in, we can see a white outline and our transform widget has disappeared. We're unable to transform the red Suzanne or even enter her into edit mode. This leads us to the difference between append and link. Append allows us to edit the appended object in our scene without affecting the original source object. Let's go ahead and save our append link file again, and let's open our monkey mirror file. As we can see, the original file is intact. Now likewise, if we edit the source object, it will not update our appended object. So let's select our green Suzanne in this scene and scale her up some. Now we can save out this file and go back to our append link file through the Open Recent dialog. Suzanne is just as we left her in this scene. Now, on the other hand, if we link an object in our scene, we cannot edit or transform it in any way. It comes in where, how, and what it is in the source file that it came from. And although we can't edit it in the new file, if we make changes in the original source file, they will automatically update into our new file because the objects are, well, linked. Alright, lastly, let's select our cube and add a material. If we go to our Material tab, we can click our ID drop-down box and see that both the red and green materials that we appended or linked are available for use regardless of whether it was an append or link. Now this would also hold true for any texture files that had been appended or linked. Alright, I hope this gives you a good idea of the append and link functions and which you should use based on your needs. I'll go ahead and see everyone in the next video.